What's cracking with your snacking snacker stars? It is me, the BRE, the man in the backwards hat, Brandon from the SAS, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, coming at you once again with another edition of OTR. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am not going south of the border. I'm going right down the street to Burger King to check out something with a little bit of Latin flair. That's right, tacos. I'll be right back right after this to check that out and more on this edition of OTR. You are looking live at a fancy schmancy Burger King here on the corner of Germantown Road and Middlebrook Road in Germantown, Maryland. There's a Wells Fargo bank here, a vape store, a FedEx place, and you got Safeway over here as well, the big old grocery store. Anyhow, today, the reason I'm at this fairly recently remodeled Burger King is to take a look at something they recently came out with that's very interesting and kind of out of their ballpark. You remember a few years ago when they came out with the Whopperito? Well, that was not too bad, honestly, and we haven't seen it since. But Burger King decided recently that they needed to start selling tacos, just like Jack in the Box does out west, and just like, Taco Bell and a lot of other places. This is not just any taco, it's a $1 taco. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the bag and take a look at it, shall we? And there it is. It's a taco. It's got a fairly light-colored shell there. It may be a mixture of corn and flour. I'm not really sure. But let's take a look at what we have in here. Lots of lettuce, which is already falling out. You've got a cheddar cheese of some sort. There is taco sauce, and there is ground beef. I'll show it to you a little bit more closely in a minute when I crunch into it and let you know more about it on this edition of OTR. Alright gang, I'm back here ready to take a bite of this taco, but first, if you are a pro wrestling fan, make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video where I will run down the big card for the Primetime Pro Wrestling card taking place at DC Brow in DC this coming weekend. Stay tuned for that. Plus, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you will get to see OTR on the road right after this, where I will pit the Burger King taco versus Taco Bell. Anyhow, guys, this Burger King taco, it's been out for a couple weeks now. They didn't have it the last time I went, and I decided I wasn't even going to mess with that barbecue sandwich they had because I've actually reviewed a couple different iterations and variations of Burger King barbecue sandwiches, and they're never all that good. But, I mean, this is a really thin taco, guys. There's not a lot going on in there. You can see that it's got like a, I don't know, a darkness where the meat might be. So that's interesting. That's meaning that there's nothing from here to here inside this taco. I wonder if that's always the case or they just kind of made them uneven. I'm not really sure. I'm really hungry, starting to shake a little bit. Let me go ahead and take a bite of this thing after I show it to you next to my noggin, and we'll see what it tastes like. Alright guys, I'm back after biting and tasting that Burger King $1 taco. Does it taste that bad? No. Is it a good taco? No. So, it's kind of like a split down the middle there, and you're only spending $1, so no big deal, right? Right. So let's break it down from the bottom to the top, like we always do. That shell seems to be a mixture of corn and flour, I think. I don't think it's, or maybe it's like, I don't know, mesa and flour. I don't really know what's going on there, but it's not quite as corny as a taco shell from a lot of other places, but it's very, very crunchy. I'll give it that. And it's keeping its crunch with that moisture on the inside that is the quote-unquote meat. And that quote-unquote meat is very mushy. It has almost like a refried bean kind of texture to it. Doesn't have any like ground beef texture whatsoever. And really not a lot of beefy flavor either. I wouldn't be surprised if there's all kind of soy stuff going on in there or something like that. It has a little bit of a Mexican or Latin vague seasoning to it. A little bit salty, actually a lot bit salty. The lettuce, as usual, is Burger King's awful stepped on, punched and sat on freaking shredded lettuce bullcrap that I hate. Can't stand that stuff, man. They need to really get rid of this lettuce and try something else. I don't really know. I mean, usually it's all chopped up, so it's a little bit better this way, I guess, but I don't really like it either way. And then you got just the tiniest little sprig of cheddar cheese in there and some kind of quote-unquote taco sauce that has no spice to it whatsoever and doesn't seem to add any particular flavor to it. So, with that being said, I would say that this taco for $1 at Burger King is probably worth the price because it's a meal for $1 that can actually put some quote-unquote nutrition into your body, if you need sustenance. But probably not good for you. and don't taste all that great either. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give this thing underwhelming half of a thumb up. You know, it could be worse. It could certainly be a heck of a lot better. You know, I'd eat it again. I'd probably buy it again, honestly, if I was just low on cash and didn't have a lot of money and just wanted to get a couple of dollar items here at the Burger King. I'd probably pick it up again, but not very often. Let's put it to you that way. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, if you are a pro wrestling fan, you want to be at DC Brow Brewery in Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, May 28th. In the afternoon. I don't know the bell time, but we'll try to update that for you later on. We have a big card of wrestling action with Primetime Pro Wrestling's Washington Monumental show. That's right. If you recall, I talked earlier in the year about the demise of Nova Pro Wrestling. Well, a gentleman who actually appeared at Nova Pro Wrestling a few times started his own promotion with the former ring announcer from Nova Pro. And you know, they have actually started promoting cards in Washington, D.C., which does not happen if your initials are not WWE. So that's really cool. That being said, a big card of action coming up this Sunday at DC Brow. You can get plenty of beer, and they're going to have a taco truck, and apparently a Sri Lankan roti truck as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of mat action as well. A lot of the stars that you know from the DMV and other promotions are going to be on this show, but presented to you in a whole different way that you've never seen before. Ladies and gentlemen, Alley Cat, that's right. Alley Cat, the favorite from a lot of the other promotions, including Nova Pro, will be taking on Bobby Orlando in a big match. We've got Ariella Nix, formerly of the Gator Pit, taking on Afro Punk Trish Adora. I've never seen her before, but she looks very interesting. Looks like she's pretty darn tough, and that's probably going to be a pretty good match. If you've ever heard of Chikara, they have a tournament called the Young Lions Cup, and Apricot Spears is the current Lions Cup holder. He will be taking on none other than local favorite Cabana Man Dan on this show. Cabana Man Dan making his return once again. He's a friend of the Snack Society. Hope to run into him while we are there. A big mixed tag team match. Savage Gentleman has been injured. He's had neck surgery. He cannot compete. So with that said, Lady Frost from Pretty Proper will be teaming with the classy wrestler Max Sterling, who I've also not seen before. I wonder if he has blue hair or maybe blue glasses. Maybe he knows something about the Zendradian protoculture. I'm not really sure, but he will be teaming up with Lady Frost to take on the team of the gifted Isaiah Frazier and local favorite as well, Miss Faye Jackson. That will be a great mixed tag team match. Looking forward to it. We got a qualifying match for the PTWT PTPW, I'm sorry. It's lots of letters there. Primetime Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championship, as Matt Buckler and Mikey Banker of Crab Wrestling, along with Josh Fuller, the Fuller House, will be taking on the team of Capital Vices, Money and Sin, in a big qualifying match for the World, or rather DC or Primetime Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championship, which will be coming up later on this year. Also, you have a #1 contenders triple threat as the Kerminator John Kerman from Capital MMA, another local favorite, taking on none other than Eel O'Neill, and they will be taking on Francis Kip Stevens in a triple threat match. We met Francis Kip Stevens last month at the pay-per-view, or rather in the Battle Royal. I'm having a hard time getting all this out today. So it's very, very hot out here, guys. But it's going to be an exciting triple threat match. Cannot wait to see that. We've also got a double main event to close things out. The Zombie Princess. Yes, that's right. Former ROH star and WWE creative writing member Jimmy Jacobs will be taking on none other than the Tortured Artist, the mysterious Blank. That's right, the Masked Man, coming into Primetime Pro Wrestling to take on none other than the famous Jimmy Jacobs in a high-profile match. Who will come out on top? Only way to find out is to be down at DC Brow this Sunday. And ladies and gentlemen, the second half of that big main event, the man who won the tournament for the Primetime Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship this past May, Bro Keller, who is skyrocketing the superstardom in professional wrestling. Going to be a big deal one of these days. Already becoming a big deal here in DC. And with that said, he'll be defending his fairly newly won championship against newcomer in Jaden Newman. Okay, that should be an interesting one as well. Looking forward to that. Going to be studying Jaden a little bit here over the next week so I can get used to who he is. When I first heard that he was getting a championship match, I was like, hey, why not Isaiah? Hey, why not O'Shea Edwards, who's not on this show this particular time around? Both of them made big impressions at the last show, and I think they should be a little higher in contention myself. But with that said, bringing in fresh new talent with an open door policy, Primetime Pro Wrestling, Mr. Gator and Lolo are bringing in a new era of pro wrestling here in DC. Equality, intergender wrestling for everyone, and this is going to be a big championship match. So, the card is sold out, ladies and gentlemen, but you can get on the waiting list if you try and if you want to for tickets and cancellations. That way, you can be there this Sunday, it's July 28th at DC Brow. I haven't done one of these in a while, guys, so I'm a little bit mixed up, but I will see you down there. The Snack Society will be down there, and so will all of the best fans in the DMV. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stay tuned right after this program if you're a Patreon subscriber, and if you're not, hop on board because I got another one of these Burger King tacos, and I'm going to put it face-to-face, one-on-one against a Taco Bell crispy taco. With that said, make sure you check out everything the Snack Society does. Comment down below. Down there in the comments, you'll find the description. And in that description, you'll find some links to our social media empire, including the Facebook group, which is always growing and has like 1,000 of the coolest people in it. And you should be one of those people too. Why aren't you? Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out that Patreon page. Help the Snack Society keep going strong. There's a reason why I'm doing $1 tacos here today, guys. If you want me to do something a little bit more expensive and interesting, you might want to put a little bit of effort and interest into the Snack Society Patreon page. Thanks to all that do and all that don't, please come aboard. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you check me out on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Brandon Reich SAS. When you do, make sure you use the handy hashtag Snack Society all day, every day. That way you know what's happening. We know what you're eating, and you know what we're eating too. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to go sweat, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.